We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, bub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
It's wild to think it's been nearly a full year since X-Men '97 made one of comics' most brutal Wolverine moments come to life on screen. And honestly, it's hard to picture something that graphic translating over to the live-action MCU. The series kicked off on March 20th, 2024, picking up where the original X-Men the Animated Series left off after its 5-season run from 1992 to 1997.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
It felt amazing to have the classic team back in action, and with Marvel Studios at the helm, there was a real sense that some of the wildest X-Men stories from the comics could finally get their due. Across those 10 episodes of Season 1, the X-Men squared off against Sentinels, the Friends of Humanity, Mojo, the Adversary, Mr. Sinister, Madeline Pryor's Goblin Queen, and more. But the toughest test they faced was Bastion, a human-Sentinel hybrid whose machinations unleashed Magneto's darker side. That twist gave the show a chance to recreate one of the nastiest Magneto-Wolverine clashes from the pages of the comics, where Magneto literally rips the adamantium from Wolverine's bones. It was a scene so shocking and visceral that it seemed tailor-made for animation, and honestly, maybe it was the only way audiences would ever see it on screen. Back in May 2024, Bastion kicked off his crusade against mutants by rolling out his Prime Sentinel program, turning ordinary humans into mutant hunting machines. To stop his plan, Valerie Cooper sprung Magneto from prison, and the Master of Magnetism responded by unleashing a global electromagnetic pulse that wiped out the Sentinel ranks, but also marked his return to villainy, despite having fought alongside the X-Men not long before. That showdown led to the brutal moment in Episode 9, Tolerance is Extinction Part 2, where Magneto tears the adamantium off Wolverine's skeleton. It was almost a frame-for-frame homage to X-Men Volume 2, Number 25, part of the Fatal Attractions arc, and seeing it play out in animation was both horrifying and exhilarating.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, bub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
While that scene was incredible to witness in X-Men '97, I can't imagine it making its way into the MCU uncut. Marvel Studios is gearing up for a live-action X-Men reboot and several mutant-focused projects, which opens the door for more classic comic moments to get their spotlight. Even though they've dabbled in grittier, R-rated territory with Daredevil Born Again, Deadpool and Wolverine, and Echo, the mainline X-Men films will almost certainly skew more family-friendly. After Disney took over 20th Century Fox, Deadpool and Wolverine dropped a curveball by introducing Cassandra Nova, who is basically a twin sister to a mysterious version of Charles Xavier. Even though Fox's X-Men movies covered a lot, they actually missed out on bringing some of Marvel's most famous X-Men villains to the screen. For example, Mr. Sinister was supposed to appear in several Fox projects, but those plans never quite took off. There are plenty of big-name enemies like Mojo, Omega Red, Mastermind, Strife, and Onslaught that never got a chance to make it into live-action movies or shows. The good news is, Marvel Studios now has a chance to explore all those untapped stories and characters that Fox's franchise didn't cover. So while it'd be amazing to see Wolverine's adamantiumectomy in live action, my bet is they'll hold off on something that dark, though they could still lean into Wolverine's tougher, more comic-accurate side in other ways.
Magneto.
The last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built.
That said, when Hugh Jackman first donned the claws in 2000's X-Men, some fans grumbled because he didn't fit Wolverine's comic description, a short, stocky Canadian with a gruff, over-the-top persona. Instead, they got an Australian who was tall, lean, and a bit more serious. Jackman, of course, won everyone over, but now there's an exciting chance for Marvel to cast someone who's closer to Wolverine's original look and attitude. A more faithful take could dive deeper into Logan's Weapon X past, tackle the Hulk vs. Wolverine debut, and even revisit Fatal Attractions, and do it all while keeping him more embedded in the X-Men team dynamic. On the animation side, X-Men '97 has kept up its momentum. The Season 1 finale scattered the team across time. Scott and Jean ended up with their son Nathan in the far future. Charles Xavier, Magneto, Rogue, Beast, and Nightcrawler were flung to ancient times, and Cable got stranded in the present. That setup teases big roles for both young En Sabanur, the future Apocalypse, and the villainous Apocalypse himself. Ross Marquand, who voices Xavier and the Apocalypse, couldn't say much about spoilers, but he did hint that Apocalypse-focused comics are worth a read. He even joked about Age of Apocalypse, though he couldn't confirm if that's where the show's headed. Bo DeMaio, who created and wrote Season 1, was let go just before the show premiered, and now Matthew Chauncey has taken over as showrunner. Early buzz suggests Season 2 hit some production speed bumps. DeMaio mentioned a rough friends and family screening, but the cast wrapped their recording a while back, and word is the season will drop in 2026. Even better, Season 3 is already in the works. Lenore Zan, who voices Rogue, says she's about to jump into recording for it. Marvel's ramping up for longer-running series. Daredevil's getting a second season, and now X-Men 97 looks set for at least 3 seasons, so there's hope the gaps between new episodes won't feel quite so long. Too many Marvel shows have stopped at 1 or 2 seasons, which can leave storylines feeling rushed. With a bigger ensemble like the X-Men, having 3 or even more seasons means characters like Wolverine, Cyclops, Rogue, Bishop, and Jubilee all get their turn in the spotlight. It also lets the writers explore a wider range of comic arcs without cramming everything into a single year. The animation's freedom from the MCU's live-action continuity has already let it stray in exciting directions, so more seasons should give it room to dig into big villain stories, like multiple apocalypses, Nimrod, or even Master Molds, at a measured pace. All in all, X-Men 97 has proven that the world of the 90s animated X-Men still has plenty of life, if not even more, to offer. It's hit record viewership, earned near-perfect ratings, and reignited passion for the team's comic history. While that horrifying Magneto vs. Wolverine scene might stay safely in animation, the success of the show shows there's appetite for deeper, darker X-Men stories. As Marvel gears up for its live-action mutant universe, there's every reason to think they'll learn from both Fox's hits and misses, and from X-Men 97 too, to give fans the best of both worlds. By the time the MCU's Wolverine makes his live-action debut, I'm hoping he'll embody everything that made Jackman's take so beloved, plus a few extra comic-accurate edges. And for the animated crew, it looks like Seasons 2 and 3 will keep building on the epic foundation they've laid, so mutant fans have a lot to look forward to.